Today's Ford's Driving Skills for Life, and what it's really focused on is providing mostly kids, the new drivers, with some tips on how to effectively operate on the roads. And you're right, we do, in addition, we've got a new program that we're just introducing for the first time in Canada called Wheel Swap, where we're helping people understand how critical it is to be aware of bicycle riders and just what's going on around you to make sure that we minimize accidents in that space as well. What's great about a virtual reality is without actually putting them in the situation, which, you know, these are in some cases dangerous elements, we can do that in a controlled environment and help them understand, you know, when you're riding a bike or if you're driving a car where bicycles may be operating, you have to be aware, and it gives you a real good sense. I was on it this morning and went through the experience, and it really does give you a good perspective on why you need to be looking out for folks that are on bicycles, or if you're on the bicycle yourself, to make sure that you're prepared for what might happen.
So we're doing the handling exercise with a Ford Mustang, obviously a rear-wheel drive car with a fair amount of power. But the slides that we're trying to control here, you don't necessarily need a Mustang with power to be able to generate that kind of situation. It actually can happen to any car, front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, it doesn't really matter. You don't need necessarily power. It happens, for example, in the middle of the winter if you hit a patch of ice, or if all of a sudden you aquaplane over some puddle of water or something. So we use these cars because it gets all the kids excited and all that, but the reality is it happens in any car. The car has been modified so that at low speeds it will essentially behave in a scenario where the car loses the control of the rear end or loses traction of the rear end. So we have special casters that are installed to remove weight in the rear of the car that will actually remove traction from the tires. So as soon as you turn in with any amount of speed, it basically goes into a slide.
I think it was a really great experience as a new driver, just kind of like feeling what would happen in that kind of circumstance and being in that circumstance, but being in it safely, and just kind of feeling on what would happen and what to do. So if I ever do get into that circumstance, then I'll know exactly what to do and I'll know how to proceed through it safely.
More than anything, I was proud that she was able to actually get a chance to do it. It's not something that when you're teaching your kid how to drive that they can experience in most cases. You can just try and explain through them, like what to do. And for them to be able to get into a car and actually physically feel that terrifying moment, and having somebody beside them that's telling them exactly how to counter steer and how to like deal with it, it's reassuring.